It's January 25th at 1:48 p.m. And I want to see if I can do all the Ben Franklin stuff, all of the Independence Hall stuff in January in under 3 hours. Very hard to do in the summertime. It's impossible to do. But let's see. First thing I got to do is pick up some postcards for my Patreon members. Let's play a game. How much do you think they sell this little wooden pistol? It has a locking trigger and it shoots. How much do you think it sells for? $33. Nice Philly canvas tote bag. How much do you think it is? $30. So when you do the touristy parts of the Independence Hall area, the Liberty Bell and Independence Hall are the toughest places to get in and out of. So we're going to knock them out first. If we can get both of them done by 3 o'clock, I think we can get a lot of things accomplished. What we look at now, oh, by the way, George Washington and John Adams, that's the foundation of the house they lived at when they were president of the United States. Now this is the line to get into the Liberty Bell, which is, it's very small. Sometimes in the summer, the line can go all the way down. The hardest part about the Liberty Bell is getting through the metal detector. You have to take your belt off. You have to take everything in. So that takes a while. So, all right, so let's do the Liberty Bell in 30 seconds. Here we are.
I know. Wow, man.
This is exciting.
It's the best time of year to visit.
That's what I'm telling the people. You come in January, you get in, you get out. Here it is. This is the Liberty Bell. There is the crack, up close and personal. Pass and stow, those are the guys who repaired the bell. You get out of the way. Oh, I'm out. Oh, 360, how exciting. Look at that. Oh, they spelt Pennsylvania wrong right there. After the Civil War, the Liberty Bell went around the country on a national tour, and people would come by and see the Liberty Bell and just get a chisel and crack off little pieces of the bell. That's why it's all dinged up on the bottom. And we're out of here. Oh, wow, thank you. And that's the Liberty Bell in 30 seconds. Liberty Bell in 30 seconds, done. Ooh, boy, I always open that door too hard. Okay, Independence Hall. Can I make the tour in 5 minutes? I don't know. The Liberty Bell and Independence Hall in 15 minutes? I don't think it's ever been done before. So I'm inside Independence Hall. It took me less than 2 minutes to go through the metal detector. Here, this is the West Wing, and inside here, they have the Declaration of Independence that was read by the Sheriff of Philadelphia. The very first time the Declaration of Independence was read publicly, it was read on these steps by a man named John Nixon, who was the Sheriff of Philadelphia. And the Declaration of Independence he held on these steps and he read out loud is on display in that building. Also, the inkwell where Thomas Jefferson wrote the Declaration of Independence, like the ink that he took out, like the actual inkwell itself, that's on display in here. But you can see it's getting renovated right now. This is the Congress Hall. Downstairs, this is where the Congress met. And upstairs, this is where the Senate met, up in this building here. When the United States of America transferred the power of presidency from George Washington to John Adams, the first time that happened, it happened in this building. I'm almost certain this is where John Adams was sworn in as president of the United States. And this is where the Congress met. And they actually have like a seating chart over here. It's really interesting. Oh. You can see where the representative from Maryland sat over there at this door top. They got pulled. All right. So John Adams did get sworn in as president on the first floor. On the second floor, where the Senate is, that's where George Washington was sworn in for his second term. So 2 presidents were sworn in as president in that building. So when you go to Independence Hall, you'll go into 2 rooms. This is the main room. This is the room everybody wants to see. This is as they say, the room where it happened. Over here is the East Wing. I think they're renovating that. This building here was the first Supreme Court of the United States, and it was also Philadelphia City Hall.
Jules, happy to welcome you to the Pennsylvania State House. Now that is a different name for this building than you may have been hearing, because we are now jumping back in time long before independence to the year 1732, which is the year this building was constructed. It was built to be the capital of the British colony of Pennsylvania. So this room was for the Supreme Court of Pennsylvania. The room across the hall was for the legislature making the laws, and upstairs was for the governor and his council. But you folks probably did not come here to learn all about Pennsylvania, as awesome as it is. Most people come here to see the room across the hallways. The assembly room. I like to call this the room where it happens. This is where the Declaration of Independence happens. This is where the United States Constitution happens. It really is the birthplace of the United States.
And we're working our way out. And I am directly outside of Independence Hall. Look at this. They have a little plaque here. Abraham Lincoln stood here when he raised the flag on Independence Hall, February 22nd, 1861. And I think that was the first time the United States flag had 37 stars. He also, when he died, his funeral, his coffin was on display in Independence Hall. It's a little bit before 2:45, and I knocked out the Liberty Bell in Independence Hall. What else can I do? I am now standing in the Ben Franklin Museum. I come in here once a year. It's a $5 museum. When Ben Franklin was signing the Constitution and all that stuff, when all that stuff was going on at Independence Hall, he couldn't walk. So Ben Franklin was carried around in one of these sedan chairs. Is that what they're called? Sedan chairs. And this isn't a chair Ben was actually carried in, but it is one from his time. So it was very common for people to get carried around, just like the Macho Man in professional wrestling. Ben Franklin did it. Apparently he had a bad case of gout, and he was 81 years old when he was carried around in this thing. And this is what the skyline of Philadelphia looked like when Ben Franklin arrived in Philadelphia, I think 300 years ago. We were at the 300th anniversary of Ben Franklin leaving Massachusetts to come here to make a better life for himself. This is an instrument called the harmonica, and Ben Franklin actually invented this instrument. It's kind of like a piano, little glass bowls. Sounds like a... If you ever heard the Harry Potter song, it's made with a harmonica. These are some artifacts dug up from Ben Franklin's house. That's pretty neat. Ben Franklin touched that bowl. Little silver pitcher was also owned by Ben Franklin. I love looking at little pieces of history where, like, you know, like it's awesome. Like, Ben Franklin touched that. I love. Oh my God, it's so exciting. I'm ridiculous. I got excited staring at the pitcher. The pitcher he touched, that handle. This is the Be Free Post Office, and this is the post office that Ben Franklin worked out of when he was Postmaster General. It's still a post office today. Well, maybe not today. And this tunnel, Ben Franklin designed it. Post office is closed. This is one of the only few post office in the United States that doesn't fly a flag in front of it because the country wasn't formed when this post office was open. And this is the house where Betsy Ross lived. Right there. That's the Betsy Ross flag. Now, we're not really 100% sure if Betsy Ross made the flag. There's no real paperwork showing Betsy made the flag herself. You see, they didn't keep paperwork on making a flag for a new country because that's treason to the old country. Betsy Ross is credited with making the first American flag. We're not 100% if she really did, but we do know she's buried here. This is the grave of Betsy Ross. Elizabeth Grisham Claypool and her husband, John Claypool, who was her third husband, are buried right here at the Betsy Ross house, which is right here. Philadelphia's most exquisite gift shop. Ben Franklin said that. Probably. I'm standing in the middle of Alfred's Alley, which is the oldest residential street in the United States of America. Someone has lived on this street since the early 1700s. And I was going to do, they have an audio tour they sell for $3, but you have to, it's such a pain in the ass to sign up for the tour. I don't have my glasses. Well, it's not their fault. I can't see. And I don't have my glasses on me. I can't read my credit card. I can't read my credit card number without my glasses, so I can't sign up for the tour. This is Bread Street, right next to the Ben Franklin Bridge. And if you look down, this is somewhat of a blue brick street. And the story is that in for the Centennial of America, they had a bunch of random buildings built for exhibits. And after the Centennial was over, they tore down a lot of the buildings they used for the Centennial. There are only 6 or 8 blue brick streets in the city. So if you see these, no, you're not walking on bricks. You're walking on history.